Okay, guys. So, next lesson, we are in 10.5. I am on page 434 if you want to follow along with me. So, little recap. Things we've been doing in this chapter so far. Last chapter we talked about area and perimeter, then we got into this chapter, surface area. And remember, surface area is the area of the outside faces. You just add them all up. Then we got to volume in our last lesson. And remember, volume is the amount of space inside of the shape. And you figure that out by taking the area of the base, which we called capital B, and then we multiplied that by the height. That was for the volume of a prism. So things that have two bases, like your cylinders, um, your rectangular prisms, your triangular prisms. Now we're going to talk about the volume of a pyramid, and we're not going to do the same thing because there's only one face here. So we're going to need to do it a little bit differently. So one thing I really want you to pay attention to when you're finding volume versus surface area, especially for a pyramid, is the height. Okay. So when you want the volume of the pyramid, you want the actual height of the pyramid. So you see here, this height is a line right in the middle and it tells you how high the pyramid is. Sometimes you will see the height on the actual side of the triangle, like here. It'll actually label how high that is. And that's helpful for when you're trying to find the area of that side for like surface area. But when you want the volume, you want the height of the actual pyramid. Now, we are going to be taking the base times the height and we're going to be multiplying it by 1/3. Remember when I showed you the whole idea of why we divide the triangle by 2 when we're figuring out the area, right? And it's a triangle is essentially half of a rectangle. And so you find the area of that rectangle and then you divide it by 2. It's a similar idea with a pyramid. You'll learn more about how that works when in Algebra 1. But you can think about it like that if you're really curious. But basically, we're going to do the same thing as with the prisms. We're going to multiply the area of the base, the capital B, times the height of the pyramid, and then multiply it by 1/3, which is the same thing as dividing by 3. So we're going to try one of these. Okay, let's start with this one. So sometimes they're going to give you the capital B, the area of the base. Sometimes you will need to find it. With a shape like this, you haven't learned how to find the area of a hexagon yet, so they've just given you the area of the base, but let's go ahead and do it. So we know that our volume is going to equal 1/3 times the area of the base times our height. So that's 1/3 times the area of our base here was 48 millimeters squared. And the height of our pyramid is 9 millimeters squared. We go ahead and multiply that. We should get 144. And remember, this is volume, so we're going to have cubed units. So millimeters cubed. All right? So now I'm going to let you try some. Okay, so I want you to try these problems, pause, and come back and check your answer. All right, so for your answers, you should have gotten 42 feet cubed and 290 centimeters cubed. So I'll do the first one just as another example. So again, volume 1/3 times the area of the base, which they gave us was, 1 second, that was meant to be my parenthesis. All right, which is 21 times the height of the pyramid, which was 6. Multiply all that together, you would have gotten 42 feet and cubed because it is volume. All right, now we're going to do one more example. So I changed my mind. We're actually going to do 2 more. So the difference between these ones and the ones I just showed you is that before they gave you the base of the pyramid, the area of that. Now we're going to be actually finding what that is. Sometimes they will give it to you. Sometimes you will be required to find it. Typically, it's only going to be given to you if it's a shape you haven't learned how to find the area of yet. So let's start with A. And the base there is a rectangle. We know the area of a rectangle is length times width, base times height. Same thing, just different ways of saying the same thing. Multiply one side by the other. So just a reminder, I'm going to put over here, volume is 1/3 capital B times H. So for A, we're going to have 1/3 times, we're going to find the area of that base, the capital B, by multiplying 3 times 4. Then once we get that, we're going to multiply that by the 7 because that is the height. Now you'll notice that I kind of just like writing all the numbers out and multiplying it all at once in my calculator. With multiplication, you can do that because multiplying 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2, right? If I needed to add something in here or subtract something, then I'd have to do it in steps. But since it's all multiplication, you can just do it all in one step. If it's easier for you to keep it organized in your brain and you'd rather figure out, okay, what is the capital B first, find that, and then start plugging stuff in, that's fine. But I just read it all out in one step, and I think your book does it that way as well, so it's easier for you to follow what I'm doing and what the book's doing. So if you were to multiply that all out in your calculator or on your paper, whichever way you'd rather do, you should get 28. Our unit is feet, and it is volume, so it will be cubed. Okay? For this one over here, we have a triangular base. So remember, the base of a triangle is 1/2 times the base times the height. So I'm going to switch up the color for the different areas of this one just to make it a little easier. So we know we have 1/3. Then we're going to need to figure out what is the base of that triangle. So that's going to be 1/2, because it's a triangle, times 17.5 times 6. So the purple I used to represent the capital B, and then we multiply that all by the height of the actual prism, which is that 10. All right, so multiply that all together. You would have gotten 175. Unit is meters cubed because it's volume. And so I'm going to let you try 2 of these, and then we're done. Okay, so go ahead and try these ones, and then pause and come back and check your answer. So the answers you should have gotten for 3, 186.6 repeating. You could have also written that as 186 2/3 if you just like the fraction better. Our unit would have been inches cubed. And then for this one over here, we would have 231 centimeters cubed. So I'll do the first one, just to remind you how to do this. So again, volume of a pyramid, 1/3, capital B times height. So our 1/3 times our capital B, which is going to be, this is a rectangle as the base, so it'll be base times height. So 10 times 8. Multiply that by the height of the pyramid, which is 7. All of that would have given you your total, 186.6 repeating. All right, inches cubed. So definitely make sure you're writing these formulas down. I know I've been saying this the whole time, but have a sheet somewhere where you're writing all these formulas down and you're labeling which ones are which, because we're about to come to the end of the 10th chapter here. So there's only so much more that we'll do before the final. So this is good stuff that's going to help you remember and study for the final, is to have those types of sheets. All right. So that is the end of lesson 10.5.